With the opening of Epic Universe fast approaching, you could argue that we are now in the final furlong as far as determining what will be the best ride at Epic Universe. Certainly, just like any good horse race, you never really know who's gonna pull it out until the very end, but there were certainly a few contenders that we knew never really stood a chance. Currently, all the way in the back of the rear is the carousel and that flat ride from How to Train Your Dragon. Nobody was putting their money on those two. Then, of course, a bit further up the pecking order, you have our sort of known constants here, the rides that have already released in other Universal parks around the globe, so your Yoshi Adventures, your Mario Kart rides. And a bit further up from that, you have your dark horses, your Curse of the Werewolves, and your How to Train Your Dragon roller coasters. And then you get to the front of the field, the ones that seem like they might actually be contending for the best ride at Epic Universe. Those rides being Minecart Madness, the Donkey Kong roller coaster that features moments where you literally jump the track. Stardust Racers, the biggest conventional roller coaster in this park that arguably could offer the most thrills out of any ride here. And of course, how can we not mention the Harry Potter and the Ministry of Magic ride that will feature completely new tech that we've never seen in theme park rides up to this point. It will be the technological marvel of this park.
These three coming down to the wire. Who's it going to be? Oh, it's a photo of the Derby.
But if I was a betting man and I ultimately had to put my money down on who I think is going to be the best ride at Epic Universe, folks, I'm putting all my marbles down on Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein Experiment. This ride being the e-ticket of the Dark Universe land, the land themed to Universal classic monsters, is basically going to offer up the best hits of these horror franchises all in one attraction. Essentially, it's the Monster Mash. Everyone is here, every ghost, ghoul, and goblin has shown up to the party, and guess what? You're along for the ride. That ride specifically being essentially more or less the same ride system as Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey over in Islands of Adventure. Now you may be saying, how in the world are you choosing this ride to be the best ride at Epic Universe when it quite literally is using the same technology that Universal has already used before? It's nothing new, it's nothing special, unlike Minecart Madness, which is a completely new sort of roller coaster system to make that ride work, and the Mystery of Magic ride, which has a completely new ride system that they made from scratch, custom made, and it's going to feature a bunch of new effects that we've never seen before on a ride. How are you going to choose this ride over those when essentially this is just Forbidden Journey 2.0? Well, I'm glad you asked, because quite frankly, it is that connection. It is the fact that it is the successor to Forbidden Journey and the fact that it does use the same technology as Forbidden Journey that I actually think that it will be the best ride at Epic Universe. You see, folks, Forbidden Journey, certainly a good ride, dare I say maybe even a great ride, but folks, there's no doubt about it, it has come alongside a number of tremendous flaws that it has been criticized for since day one. After all, Forbidden Journey was a prototype. It was the first ride using a Kuka arm ride system with screen-based technology and animatronics being shoved right in your face. This was completely new stuff. Universal was breaking ground with this ride. It was completely unique and different in that regard. And like most prototypes, it's not going to come out of the oven perfect. You know, it's going to have some flaws. It's going to have some issues. It's going to have some errors. And the great thing here is that Universal in this ride, in Monsters Unchained, taking this technology again, is addressing every single flaw and issue that Forbidden Journey had, and as a result, is going to make this ride 10 times better than what even Forbidden Journey turned out to be. Don't believe me? Here's what they're changing. So instead of the Kuka arm being on the back of your ride vehicle, it's going to be underneath. This will provide a different sort of range of movement that will provide different thrills, but will also be less nauseating, as that was one of the core problems with Forbidden Journey, was its nausea-inducing factor. And a big part of that came from these dome screens. It was cool technology where the screens moved alongside your ride vehicle, but ultimately it caused a lot of people to get sick on the ride. So those dome screens, guess what? They are completely gone. They are done away with. They will not be a part of this ride. Now, that's not to say there won't be screens. However, they are going to be a much smaller piece of this attraction than Forbidden Journey. They're mainly going to be used in the background. They're going to be used as transitional elements. They're going to be used to show certain parts of action that, can't be demonstrated through physical aspects. But they will seldom be shoved in your face, and they are not going to be the main vehicle for entertainment on this ride. No, the entertainment value on this ride is going to come from massive physical sets and animatronics. And guess what? You're going to be able to fully admire these animatronics and these massive sets because the seating arrangement on Forbidden Journey has been done away with. You will not have these walls in between your seats that limit your vision. No. Those are gone. Universal wants you to be able to see everything they've built here in front of you because they have spared no expense. You will have full range of movement and full periphery vision available to you. So no, I don't think that having a similar ride system to Forbidden Journey is at all a hindrance or a knock on this attraction, but in fact is actually a huge asset because it allows Universal to already know what the flaws are with this ride system and where they can improve, and they are going ahead and they are implementing all that data they've collected over the past 15 years into this attraction. Whereas Minecart Madness and the Ministry of Magic ride, those certainly are going to bring new things to the table we've never seen before, they very well may come with their own set of flaws and setbacks that couldn't have been foreseen because, again, these are prototypes, these are first of their kind, and Universal is trying something new here, and they won't know what the issues are until they have 2020 hindsight vision. And also, can I just say, yes, I know the Ministry of Magic and Minecart Madness and even Stardust Racers are going to have cool entrances, but come on, man. Monsters Unchained might have the best ride facade maybe ever outside of Forbidden Journey. I mean, this mansion themed to Frankenstein's manor is massive in scale. It's absolutely huge. It's highly detailed. It features electricity surging throughout it, which makes it a beautiful location to go and check out at night. Really, you couldn't ask for a better way to sort of introduce your guests to the ride than this facade. It's incredible. Now, the other great part about this is the story, because the story is going to go ahead and it's going to build upon and add to all the existing lore and media that we've already seen from the classic monsters, taking the story a step further. So for anyone who is a fan of these franchises, who have seen the films, they're going to be absolutely satisfied with what they have in front of them. There are going to be plenty of hidden details, plenty of Easter eggs. There's going to be a lot to chew on if you are a Monsters fan. But the great part about it too is that it is simple in nature. It is straightforward. The storyline basically is that Victoria Frankenstein, the great-great-granddaughter of Victor Frankenstein, the scientist who brought to life Frankenstein's monster, has made it her mission to capture all of the monsters. And she's done so for quite a number of them, but now she's trying to capture Dracula, who has been the most elusive of the bunch. And unfortunately for Victoria, in doing so, she has allowed Dracula to go ahead and go into her chambers and unleash all the monsters into attacking us. You literally do not need to know anything about the classic monsters or have seen any of the films to know what is going on here. It is very straightforward, it is very simple, and it is very engaging despite the fact that you might not know anything about these characters. Simply put, it's going to connect on the most crucial levels with everybody, and is going to connect on even deeper levels for those who do have a further understanding and knowledge of these characters and the franchises that they are built on. And I think it goes without saying that is far and away the best type of story that you can tell in a theme park ride, and this ride will deliver on that. Now, if you're worried about if the ride itself will actually be able to deliver this storyline in a cohesive way, despite the fact that it is, straightforward, it's simple and easy to understand, the question is, will the ride actually be able to deliver in communicating that story? Well, folks, I have good news for you, because it's not going to solely rely on the ride. It's not even going to solely rely on the queue. No. There is going to be a pre-show for this attraction. That is where we will get our nice exposition dump, and that is where everyone will be on the same page as far as understanding what this ride is about and what's going on here. Plus, in this pre-show, what we already know is that there's going to be a massive 9 feet tall, 800-pound animatronic Frankenstein's monster. And as if that wasn't already impressive enough, this absolute unit is going to go ahead and walk around on the stage. He's going to move in a major way. This huge animatronic will walk right before your very eyes. As if your mind wasn't already blown, folks, it just got crazier, because take that animatronic that is state-of-the-art, that's technologically advanced, and multiply it by, let me see, how about 15? Times it by 15, folks, because you go ahead and add 14 more state-of-the-art advanced audio animatronics to the ride itself on top of this one animatronic in the pre-show. I mentioned it earlier, this ride is going to rely on animatronics and huge sets to tell the story and to provide the entertainment value. So of course, there's going to be a ton of animatronics, and these things look incredible. These are not your typical basic animatronics with limited movement. No, these guys all have full range of movement, have a ton of movement in their face and their facial features, and all come equipped with amazing costuming and makeup and whatnot applied to them, which of course is already absurd just by Universal standards. I mean, if we think about any other ride at Universal, how many can you name that have 14 animatronics, period? What, like just E.T. and Ken Hat? Like, I can't think of any other ride that has 14 animatronics. Maybe Forbidden Journey is close, but most of those are limited in movement. Most of those are basically static figures. This will be completely unique in Universal's lexicon as far as how many animatronics they have in this ride that are of this high level and this high fidelity. Plus, given the fact that this will be using the KUKA arm ride system, we know that the ride is going to shove us directly in the face of all these animatronics. We will be able to see all the fine details, every single speck of fur and skin on these things right up close, and the movement will be right in front of our face. It will be absurd. You will have never experienced anything like this on a ride before. Think about all the super highly advanced and fluid animatronics that we know about that exist at theme parks today, like the ones over at Disney on Navi River Journey and Rise of Resistance and Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Think about all of those. They're all shown to us at a distance. They're all rather far away from where we are sitting. This ride, we're going to be shoved right in the face of them, and honestly, they're all going to be way bigger than any of the animatronics on these attractions. Now, as far as what animatronics we expect to see in this ride, well, we know we're going to see a Wolfman animatronic swiping at us from above. I imagine that our ride vehicle will move very similarly to the Whomping Willow scene in Forbidden Journey, where you're kind of on your back in that moment. We also know we're going to see multiple Dracula animatronics. After all, he is the big bad of this ride. I would also expect another Frankenstein animatronic on the ride itself, at least one. We also know that there will be a Gillman, a creature from the Black Lagoon animatronic, which I think will be a very unique moment because, of course, he's going to be coming up out of the water, which means that, yes, our ride vehicle is going to be pointed more or less directly down. So we're going to be hanging on by our restraints instead of being put on our back into the back of the seat like on the Whomping Willow effect. No, we're going to be going straight into our restraint here as we go face to face with the Gillman coming out of the water. That's going to be a really unique and exciting moment. We also know the brides of Dracula will be on this ride as well. I imagine the moments with them will probably be very similar to the Dementor moments on Forbidden Journey. That's kind of my guess. We also know the Mummy will make an appearance, and we also know the Phantom of the Opera will have what I believe is going to be the show-stopping moment on this ride, as he will be playing his organ, but it's not as simple as that. From the top of the organ pipes will be 14 individual flame points that will shoot flames 3 feet into the sky. This is going to be absolutely the most mind-blowing moment of the ride. We're going to feel the heat, I'm sure, because again, we're going to be shoved right into the Phantom of the Opera's face while he's playing. He's probably going to be upset. He's like, get off my shoulder, man. I'm trying to play some great music here, but this is going to be like that scene from Mad Max Fury Road with the guy with the guitar playing flames out of it. Like, dude, this is going to be the show-stopping moment of the ride. It's going to be the moment of the ride that everyone's talking about. I'm telling you, this is going to put Phantom of the Opera back on the map, man. I'm telling you. Now, 2 characters we haven't gotten exact confirmation on whether or not they're going to be in this ride yet or not, at least as far as I could find, was Bride of Frankenstein and the Invisible Man. Now, I'm a little bit surprised because both of these are kind of like, you know, they're at the top of the list when it comes to Universal Classic Monsters, so I thought for sure they'd be in it. Based on the merch that is being put out for Dark Universe, I sort of suspect Bride of Frankenstein will be here. She's very prominently featured on all the merch. We do know she's going to be a walk-around character in the land, but I gotta imagine she's in this ride as well. The one that's really concerning me, though, is the Invisible Man. Again, he will also be a walk-around character in the land. I'm still having my fingers crossed that's just going to be like an empty chair and that's the meet and greet, but either way, you know, I really hope the Invisible Man is on this ride because most of this ride, let's be honest, folks, is going to be rather scary. It's going to be rather intense. It's going to be rather thrilling. The Invisible Man, I think, would bring a good bit of levity to the attraction, maybe perhaps a little bit of comic relief to sort of break up the action and make the latter moments of this attraction even more intense by taking sort of a breather in the middle. And this is not to say that the Invisible Man is not scary, but I think the way he would likely be delivered in this sort of ride experience would likely be pulling off some sort of magic trick where he's like unwrapping himself and oh no, he's invisible, and he's probably delivering some manic speech while he's doing it. So it's not to say that he's not a scary character, but I think the way he would likely be implemented in the ride would be to sort of be, you know, it's a little goofy, it'd probably be a little bit funny, and I think that that would be good for the ride. I know it's kind of strange as that sounds. I think that actually having a moment like that would actually really help to build variety in the attraction and to break things up from just being non-stop scary, non-stop action, and to add something different to the sort of mood swings in this ride. Also, let me pull back the curtain a little bit here. The Invisible Man is my favorite Universal Classic monster, so he's not on the ride. Retract everything I just said. Okay, this ride sucks. That's terrible. I'm kidding. But seriously, come on. Put the Invisible Man in the ride, okay? At least make a nod to him somewhere. Like, put him in the background. I don't care. Just put him in the ride, please. Now, alongside these animatronics, we know there's also going to be some sort of special effects. We've already talked about the flames with the Phantom of the Opera, but we also know that some of these animatronics will come with breath, like they're actually will be breathing on you. I'm sure Dracula and the Wolfman will probably feature that prominently. We also know that electricity is going to be a big part of the ride, so I think static electricity may be something that kind of gets implemented as far as raising your hair up on the ride. We see it in a lot of the concept art that people's hair is sort of, being lifted up by static electricity. Perhaps that is actually in effect on the ride. I'm not going to guarantee it, but that would be something really cool that they might try and pull off. And let me say this, folks. Everything I've said here in this video is what we know so far. There are a ton more secrets, there are a ton more hidden facts, there are a ton of details that we have no idea about that we're going to be shocked and surprised by come opening day, that are going to make this ride even more impressive than what I've already laid out for you here today. We have no idea really what's going on in the queue. We don't know exactly what the ride layout's going to be. We have no idea what all 14 of the animatronics are going to be exactly. I mean, there's a bunch of mysteries around this ride we have no clue about. And you know what? If I haven't convinced you that this will be the best ride in Epic Universe, then all I gotta say to you, buddy, is good. I'm glad. I'm glad that I haven't convinced you, quite frankly, because theme park rides are a subjective matter. We should all have different opinions on it. Ultimately, this is a form of art. We should all have different opinions. We should all think differently. I think that's great, and I think that is healthy for the community. And honestly, I hope that come Epic Universe opening day, that another ride blows you away so much that I say, this ride, Monster Unchained, it's not even number one. It's not even close to number one. In fact, because there were so many other great rides at Epic Universe that stole the thunder. This is what I'm putting my marbles on. This is what I'm putting my chips down on the table for, as far as what I think is going to be the best. But folks, hey, it's up to anyone else's interpretation. And again, I hope I am wrong. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comments. What ride do you think is going to be the best at Epic Universe come opening day? And if you're still looking to sort of plan your Epic Universe trip, go ahead and check the video out in the middle of your screen right now. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.